What's up, everybody? It's your boy Rico No Suave, and welcome back. Welcome back to another great show. I am super happy to be back with each and every one of you guys. You know, one of the greatest things about just being back with you guys is because I missed you, And, sometimes time fly by fast when you're having fun. But, I got to say there was a lot of fun this past weekend. But we got a fun-filled show for each and every one of you guys today. But thank you guys so much for actually tuning in to the Rico No Suave show, man. It's just a blessing to actually be back. Ya tú sabes, mi gente. Bienvenido a todos, mi gente. Ya tú sabes, your boy Rico No Suave. So let's get it on. This past weekend, everyone, I went to me, and big shout out to John T for free. He actually was my videographer, and we had such a great time as far as doing the Chandler International Film Festival in Chandler, Arizona, next to Phoenix. And it was kind of a great experience because we were actually the red carpet host for the 1st and the 2nd, right, of February of this month. And, being able to do this film festival came out as, energy. I have to say that the energy that I was portraying was my passion in regards to what I really love to actually do on the red carpet. Really showed a lot of my passion in there. So, there's stars, there's celebrities, and all that great stuff. And there was a couple of them that was there. And I had the privilege, I had the privilege to be able to interview this one guest. So I'm going to show that photo. Real quick. And yes, so I was able to interview Tara Reid from American Pie, Urban Legend, The Big Lebowski, and I was able to interview her at least 3 times. And I do want to say that she had a movie that came out called Dr. Quarantine that was actually shown there. And being shown as far as, that movie, it was about mental health awareness. And it was such a great thing because that was a connection that we actually have on the show itself. So this right here was super hype. It was super awesome. And I was super hyped to actually, have her in my presence. But also big shout out to Matteo for actually having the Rico No Suave show there. And this was a big step as far as for me to be able to interview someone of the caliber in regards to films. And I also have to give a big shout out to all of the filmmakers that's out there. And also big shout out to the mayor of Chandler, Arizona as well too. Everybody, it's time. It's time for me to introduce the gentleman here. And big shout out to my man, Mr. Danny Arroyo. This guy is amazing. He was actually on my show, and he said, hey, you got to get this filmmaker on there. This guy is awesome. He is super cool. I'm like, yeah, is he super cool? He's like, yeah, because he was born in Hollywood, and he was born for it. I was like, okay, cool. All right, you excited? I'm excited too. I want you guys to put your hands together for none other than my guy, Matteo Rossi. Let's go. Yeah, let's go.
Hey,
What's going on,
how's it
sir?
going?
How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here. I'm very excited, and thank you, Danny, for setting me up on this. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, uh, I love your name, number one. You got 3 cool
Thank
names,
you,
Michael,
thank you,
and then you
thank
got
you.
Matteo, a little Spanish in there. I
hmm
know, and then you got
hmm
Rossi. You know what I mean? Hey, I love them all,
Yeah,
man. I love them all. So
thank you,
welcome to the party, baby.
thank you.
Welcome to the party.
Oh, and I'm looking forward to it, and it's interesting. I always use my full name. Michael Rossi is kind of common, but Michael Matteo Rossi, I've never met anybody with my full name, so I wear it. I wear it like a proud badge. You
Let's
know?
go.
Yeah, yeah.
You should be
So it's
proud,
great.
sir.
It's great.
You should be
Definitely.
proud.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. It's
Hey,
great. It is great.
you know, here on the Rico No Suave show, just like my man Tiesto, let's get down to business.
Yeah.
Let's get it on, man. Let's get it
Get
on,
right
baby.
into it, man. I'm down. I'm open. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Hey, being born in Hollywood where the
Yeah.
inspiration is there to be great in films, Before the age of 19, what influenced you to actually get into the film industry?
So yeah, so I was born on Kaiser on Sunset, which is in Hollywood. So that's why I can say I was born in Hollywood, which is kind of rare in and of itself. But I just always watched some of those classic films growing up. I always watched, the Hitchcock films, the film noirs from the 40s and 50s, even the Twilight Zone TV show, and I just loved it. And of course, going to movie theater with my parents, in the 90s, seeing such great films, seeing a few films that I probably shouldn't have seen that young, it
Yeah.
it influenced me and it made me really want to do this and to tell stories on the big screen. And the fact that, I grew up in LA, it's all in your face. You almost can't avoid it. But I just knew very early on that I wanted to do something entertainment related. So started with writing and then kind of worked my way up.
I like that. I like that. When it comes down to writing, there's always, and I love that you talk about storytelling, because there's always
Mhm.
different subjects to talk about when it comes to storytelling. Either it's like
Yeah.
maybe horror, if it's drama, suspense, comedy, and all the different, and documentaries as well too. Being able to tell a story.
Hmm.
Being at a young age like yourself, you were kind of in how can I say, you were automatically grandfathered into something as a kid to be able to be surrounded by that as well too. Were there any actors or any directors when you were growing up that just stuck out from you that says, "Man, I just love the way that this person matches with my personality," or similarities of your style?
Yeah, so and just to make it known, and I think I've probably said this before,
Yeah,
nobody in my family is in the film business. I'm
sure.
I'm the first person. It's not like I kind of had a leg up that way or
Yeah.
anything. No disrespect to people who have. They're fortunate with that. But speaking about a couple films that I saw way too young, two films that scared the hell out of me as a kid, but that I grew to love, were RoboCop and Terminator 2. Those two films I saw both of them before the age of 10, which is pretty crazy. Anybody who kind of knows both of those films know they're pretty violent. So James Cameron, Paul Verhoeven in terms of directors, but also seeing some Scorsese films, and everything, Goodfellas and all that, and seeing a few foreign films, The Seven Samurai, Kurosawa, 1950s Japanese film. All of those kind of molded me, and also seeing a lot of action films from the 80s and 90s. I remember seeing Face Off when it came out, when it got kind of
Oh, that was
released
a
on
good one.
VHS. Yep, back in 97. I remember being blown away by just the action set pieces. I was 10 at the time when it got released, but I loved it. I loved it. And of course, seeing like Commando with Schwarzenegger and all of that, like
Ooh,
kind of go, yeah, you remember that one.
yes,
Just
sir.
being influenced by those, the action, I don't know, I like to throw it back to that type of stuff. So all of that kind of helped influence me growing up or starting out too.
Yeah, I really like that. I really like that piece because when it comes down to, Commando, I was thinking about Rambo as
Hmm.
well too, and
Yeah, yeah, of course.
you look at Rocky, you know what I mean, and when
Yeah,
you look at Rocky, I love it to the fact of just the way that the movies were made during that time,
yeah,
right? The way that the
yeah.
movies were actually made during that time, and it's so crazy because during that time, how they actually held the film, not like it is
Hmm.
now, but the way that they actually had film back in the day was so unique, right? But you can
Yeah.
definitely tell it was the passion of being able to use real film and go from there. And
Yeah.
someone at the film festival I was at said that they actually had
Hmm.
their movie on real film and they couldn't make
Oh,
mistakes. Like they
no,
couldn't make mistakes at all. And I'm like,
no.
wow, that's discipline.
It's it is. And it's crazy. I've been doing this for over 18 years now, and I've never shot on film. All of it's been on digital, but I have loads of respect for it. But yeah, in terms of actually editing it, cutting the celluloid, putting it together and all of that, I mean, it's just a whole other animal. Maybe I'll tap into that someday or get into it, but no, I mean now it's all digital. It's easier, it's more affordable. Still looks great, but
Yeah.
there is something about the old school way of doing it that they did back in the 60s, 70s
Yeah.
and beyond. Yeah, definitely.
When it comes to talking about, you know, authors, they have writer's block, right?
Yeah.
And when they have writer's block, it's like, okay, it's either I have like a brain fart or there's something going on here. I need to take a break. I need to grab something to eat. Have you ever caught yourself, of course, during that time writing and realizing that the time has passed so fast that you forgot to eat?
Yeah, you lose track of time in a lot of ways. Every writer has their own different approach in terms of writing a story. For me,
Yeah.
I do it in short, controlled bursts. I'll write like crazy for maybe even a good hour, and then I'll take a walk, I'll take a shower, I'll do something else, just get my mind off of it. I'll eat, and then I'll go back to it. It's hard for me to write for 5, 6 hours completely uninterrupted. I have too much ADD for that. It just I
Yeah.
can't focus. So I do it in that short controlled burst, and it served me well so far. It really has. But
That's
I'm
awesome.
always thinking one scene ahead usually,
That's
like what's
awesome.
happening right next, and then going. Yeah.
That's awesome. I do have to give you love because you being in the film industry, your background. I got to let the audience know that your background is dope. I love the background itself. And we were
Thank
kind
you.
of talking behind the scenes of
Yeah.
over, looking at the screen over to your right or to your left, of course. It,
Yeah.
it looks like the detectives when they use the detectives with the little thumb
Yeah.
pins on it. It looks so
All
cool.
of this stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, it's cool and everything. I mean, I try to be eclectic with what I put up, foreign films, old films, American films, a bunch of people. Well, Danny certainly knows this because we both collect comic books as well. I don't have any
Yes.
right here
Yes.
because I want them to be, direct sunlight coming in because there is a window there. My
Okay.
OCD would be nuts. I'm not trying to fade anything like that. But no, I mean, I have a wide range of kind of creative interests and stuff, and
I
collecting
like that.
certain things and displaying it and all of that stuff.
So let's get to it, Michael,
Yeah,
Matteo, Rossi. Let's get
let's
down
let's
to
do
it.
it.
When we
Let's
talked
do it.
about when we talk about movies, because we understand your journey at the very beginning, what was your influence?
Mhm.
Now you have that first movie. I think you came out
Yeah.
with a movie at age 19. Is that correct?
It was a short film. Yeah, it was a little short film, 4 minute short film that they did. Shot it in 6 hours. This was early January of '07, and it was fun. And I was still in college at the time, but I was on still winter break, so I was up in LA. I went to San Diego State, so yeah, I was up in LA. We shot it and sent it to a bunch of festivals, and I loved it. It got into a few. I loved going to festivals. I loved seeing it on the big screen. It was at the one of the Burbank film festivals, so it was at the Burbank AMC. And you got to understand, 19-year-old kids seeing the film like that, seeing
Yeah.
their film 4 minutes or not, is incredible.
Yes, sir.
And I loved it. I was like, I got to make more. I got to make
Yes.
more.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah,
Hey, that's what I'm
yeah,
talking about, man. Hey,
oh
the
yeah.
motivation, I'm telling you, once it kicks in, you're like, seriously, let's keep going, right? You don't
I,
want to
I was
stop.
bit with it. I didn't want to stop. It was just the passion was there. It was like a damn drug for me. I loved it way too much. I wanted to keep chasing it.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Speaking
Hell
of
yeah.
chasing, that is the magic word of today because you actually have a film that's called Chase. There
Yes.
was a film called Chase. It was a thriller. Talk to us a
Mhm.
little bit about how that film was developed and how long did it take for you to make that film?
So that one was really interesting. We shot in 2018 and it got released in 2019. I think it was only about a 15 or an 18-day shoot, but it was great. It was a great experience. I wrote the script. It's about a hitman kind of caught between his best friend who wants him still in the business and then his girlfriend who wants him out of the business.
Mm,
And I love it. It kind of has this neo noir type thing with some of the lighting you'll see, but I loved it. And it won best kind of crime, I think crime film at a few festivals. So I was happy with it. That was the first feature that I made after. You learn with each film that you make, and I
true.
kind of had to go back to the drawing board a little bit, and I kind of built up a good team for that one. Because look, some films are hit or miss. Some films are stressful as hell, and
Yeah.
then some go smooth. But that one was smooth. That was a good time in my life. That was. Yeah,
I like
that
that.
was.
I
You
like
know.
that. Hey, it's
Yeah.
called, it might be a thriller, but it's chasing your
Yeah.
dreams, right? It was chasing
Hell
your
yeah.
dreams during that time.
It was.
How old were you when you were developing that film, when that film came out?
Yeah, I think I was 31. I was
Okay.
31. Yeah,
Okay.
or I just turned 31. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So and it was at that time the fourth feature film that I did technically. The
I
fourth
see.
feature film.
I
But
see.
but that was definitely my most elevated film at the time. That was the one that had the kind of biggest budget. So it was my most ambitious film at the time. And
Yeah.
then yeah, yeah. And that propelled me to being able to then think even a little bit bigger and more ambitious.
Yeah, I like that because I'm glad you jumped to where there was other feature films that was in between because you know I'm going to ask about those.
Of course, of
I
course,
definitely
of
want to
course.
talk. I definitely want to talk about the one because each film that you're having, but I do want people to understand how you, as a filmmaker, what categories of films, speaking of the films that you made
Hmm.
before,
Hmm.
that was actually, was it kind of like a set category or was it different categories of film like suspense, comedy, or whatsoever?
The last few films that I've done, or most of my features, have kind of been under that umbrella of either crime, action, suspense, drama, thriller, with some dark
Mm.
comedy in it as well. I know I just hit you with a lot of genres, but it
Oh,
is
you good?
multi-genre. But it's mostly kind of suspense, thriller, action with some dark comedy mixed in there too. And not to jump the gun, but yeah, after Chase, I was able to do my film Shadows, which
Okay.
arguably is is my best film or my most critically acclaimed film. That and Charisma Killers. Those are the two that I think are my best film. Again, I'm not trying to jump the gun,
No, you
but if
good.
I look at my kind of my filmography, I look through and I think that those are my strongest story wise, from a technical perspective, and also acting wise.
Got it. Got it. You know,
Yeah.
what one of the things about films is how you stay within certain areas that you can perfect. I feel that you're perfecting that true crime detective type deal when it comes to
Mhm.
your films and you want people to know more about it, but you're also teaching
Yeah.
people a lesson in regards to what's good and what's bad, right?
Yeah.
And then when you hit them with the
Yeah.
dark comedy, though, the dark comedy, not everybody understands dark comedy. Like, I mean,
No.
they're used to the regular one. Go ahead.
Well, it's funny because with Chase, the main bad guy in it was Ari Spears, who, Mad TV, stand-up comedy, the whole bit. But I've said it before that some of the people who kind of have mostly done comedy and stand-up, they're the best at drama. They're the best at these edgy films. But he still added some dark comedy where someone can get brutally murdered in the film and he'll say like a one-liner that's hilarious or something like that off the cuff. People who have worked with me know that I'm open to improv and ad-libbing within the limitations of the story.
Yeah.
So I let him go, and he crushed it in it. I think he did a great job. So you got to mix that in there sometimes. You just have to.
Yeah. There was, there's definitely TV shows that's also like the true crime, but you focus, of
Yeah.
course, on feature films, and you have done
Hmm.
short films as well too. Have you thought about getting into filmmaking for regular TV shows, true crime? I always think about this. This is one of my favorite, Forensic Files. That's always like one of
Yeah.
my favorites, right? And then
Yeah.
there's true crime TV as well. Have
Yeah.
you thought about getting into the TV show area as well?
I'd definitely be open to it. It's just a whole different animal, I've shot a
Yeah.
trailer for like a spec pilot and stuff like that. I've written a pilot before, but it's difficult, in terms of budget, in terms of who's going to pick it up. With feature, if you have a certain amount of money, you get it, it's done, hour and a half, 2 hours, and then you're good to go. With episodics, it's a bigger beast in a lot
Right.
of ways. So am I open to it? Absolutely. Um, who knows when it'll happen? But yeah, I'm definitely open to it. Yes.
That's good. That's good. I was
Yeah.
hoping you were going to say that, Michael Matteo Rossi,
Yeah.
because I want to see that from you. Because when you talk about true
Yeah.
crime and you talk about crime, there's some things that I love to actually see from different episodes. Because I'm like, man,
Oh
there's
yeah.
more. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's definitely
100%.
something that I will love to definitely see more. And it's just a suggestion from a fan. That's all it is. Just a suggestion from a fan. And
No, I love it.
because I know you got it. I know you got it.
Thank you, man. Thank you. No, and a few of my favorite shows are like again, Sopranos, Breaking Bad, The Boys, Game of
Yeah.
Thrones, minus the last season. All of that, Sons of Anarchy, all of those
Ooh.
shows, and it's always like you're thinking, damn, what's next, or what's the next episode, or something like that. It's like you got to wait sometimes for that really good episode, but it's building.
Yeah.
So there is something amazing about that, about, oh, I can't wait. There's the cliffhanger, and then you gotta hit that next episode right away. Doesn't
Yes,
matter
sir.
whether it's 2 in the morning, you gotta hit that. So yeah, I'm right there with you.
What was some of your TV shows that you have watched and you realized that it was so good that the time just went past you, and it was like the if you ever had it in the middle of the night and you couldn't sleep? Have you had a TV show like
So
that you actually
yeah,
watched?
yeah. So my brother got me into Game of Thrones when
Oh,
it was yeah, it was a couple months before the last season, right?
yeah.
So I binged season 1 to 7 in about a month. A month. Because I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how well done it was. And while I was watching it,
Yeah.
they I was just amazed by it. And then season 8 happens, and can I swear on here or no? I'm
A
not
little bit.
sure.
Go
Can
ahead.
I?
Yeah. Yeah.
No. All right. No, I'll just say. Then they totally effed up season 8. All right. I
Okay.
don't care what people say. They freaking. I mean, that was just such a disappointment. You build up some of these characters just to shit on them and rush things and all of that and the whole bit. So it's still amazing, but it's just funny. People don't talk about that show that much because they screwed up that last season so damn much. But when
Yeah.
I was season 1 to 7, I was riding that high. There were a couple cliffhangers. I don't want to spoil any stuff where I literally was like, nope, starting the next one right now. Need to find out. So yeah, that would be there. I had a T-shirt of it. I had the whole bit. I mean, it was crazy. Like I had a colleague of mine who's about like 6'8", and we recreated the thing of what is it, the serpent versus the mountain, the thing with. Anyways, I was full blown nerding out about it. So that was a great show when it was good.
Yeah. I and this is the cool thing about why I ask these questions of a filmmaker that watches TV shows, episodes, and also other films, because it's like what goes through the mind of Michael Matteo Rossi when it comes to him looking at what other people are doing, and
Mm-hmm.
does this educate you to say, man, if I ever made something like this, I got to make sure I never do that. you know? So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, you're right about that, though. The last episode, like the last season
Season was just
of that, can kill everything else.
hmm hmm
That's crazy.
It's again, you build it up because it's also like you got to think about the fans. You're basically giving the middle finger to the fans and saying they have self-awareness. They're smart people, the creators and all of that type of stuff. They should have known that people would not like it or that there was a shift or they were
Right.
rushing it too much. And they just
Right.
didn't care. They didn't care for one way or the other. So you're kind of disrespecting all of these loyal fans that have built up 7 years of watching it, and saying, I don't care. I got to go do Star Wars or Star Trek or whatever the hell they were doing after the creators. So again, I don't know the politics behind it too much. You just see what you read, but yeah, I mean, but it starts with the writing. You gotta get the right writing, the right characters, everything. You have the right budget for it, which certainly they did. So yeah, it's who knows, man. It's a shame about that, though.
So, when it comes to, we call it frustration, frustration of concern for ourselves. One of the biggest things I always learned that we invest our time and we invest our efforts and we invest money into ourselves on projects that we do. Like in certain movies, a guy is typing up, he's an author, he's typing up and he has the old typewriter, he's saying string, and then he takes the paper out, he balls it up and he throws it.
Thursday,
And then
yep.
he's like, okay, let's do it again. Have you ever caught yourself when you're actually ready to start something, like not typing, of course, or whatever that, as a filmmaker, when you're writing something, have you been through those kind of concentration struggles to actually get the thing started, or you already know what you want and you go right into it?
Well, the funny thing is that actually, when I'm writing something or I started
Mm-hmm.
something, I don't, I usually know where it's going and I just hit it and I'm on that high, everything. The primary amount of my stress lies in the pre-production or filming or post-production
I
of
see.
stuff or getting a film up and running. So
Got it.
believe me, make no mistake about it. In my 18 plus years, I have had some stresses that you would not believe. I have had more gray hairs added that you wouldn't believe, okay, from all of this. It is very stressful. It is stressful as an indie filmmaker. It is stressful where you are juggling a million different things.
Yeah.
And then if one thing goes wrong, it's on your back to handle it. You got to put out fires. You got to do stuff like that. So
Yeah.
you have to have thick skin like none other. It is very, very easy to get burnt out and jaded in this business.
Yeah.
People can give you the song and dance about how amazing it is, but I'm a straight shooter, and I'm just gonna say you can get burnt out very easily. I've seen it happen before. I'm still here. I'm still in the trenches, but it's yeah. So the proverbial me bunching up the paper and throwing it, that happens to me, but in different stages of production, not as much writing.
Got it. Got it. I like that answer. Everybody, you already know it's your boy Rico No Suave. He on the Rico No Suave show with none other than my guy, the filmmaker. He in Hollywood, Michael Matteo Rossi. Hey, we're gonna take a quick break, everybody. We got some commercials to show you, pay some bills. We'll be back 30 seconds to a minute. We'll see you soon.
Perfect. Good. It's a
Feeling
commercial.
sluggish? Struggling with stubborn weight and visceral fat? It's time to reset with Fupa Water. Packed with powerhouse ingredients like spirulina, turmeric, and aloe vera, Fupa Water is your daily detox and hydration boost all in one. Flush out toxins, energize your body, and say goodbye to that stubborn belly fat. Ready to feel lighter and stronger? Get yours today at fupawater.com. And for a limited time, use code RNSS for the Rico No Suave show and get an additional 10% off on your first order.
And welcome back. You already know my man Michael Matteo Rossi is here. Hey, Michael, are you having a good time?
I'm having a great time. This is great. And I'll say, I love the graphics. I love all the stuff that you got going on with that. And I like your background too. So, yeah,
Thank you,
I'm having a
man. I
ball.
appreciate
Yeah,
that. Man, I appreciate that.
absolutely,
This is
man.
awesome, man. This is
Absolutely.
awesome.
hmm
Let's go.
hmm
Let's go.
Let's
Hey,
go.
so
Yeah.
since I'm super hyped already, you know, the one thing is that I'm always super hyped off of is lessons learned, right? And
hmm
things that we go through in the past of things that we know that we can help ourselves get better, but also help others as well. What were some of the struggles as far as with some of the films that you were developing that you learned from those films or just the process in general and how to get better as a filmmaker?
So, the two biggest lessons, to be very honest with you, is be patient. Be patient. Don't rush into something, especially a film, if you don't have the proper budget or this, or you're trying to rush it because it'll snowball like crazy. And then the other one is don't be afraid to shave down or cut certain scenes. All right. You got to cut it and keep it tight. So, with the last couple films in particular, I shaved it down a little bit, more than a little bit sometimes, to make sure that it's where it has to be. But just really planning is so important because that thing, everything that could go wrong will go
Will go
wrong.
wrong.
That can
Yes, sir.
happen sometimes. All right. There are certain acts of divine intervention that you may say where it's like you weren't expecting this and these things happen. You got to be ready for them.
Nice. When you're
Yeah.
actually catch yourself or and we all are at fault at some cases where things are their deadlines that needs to be
Yeah.
met or there's timelines
Yes.
that's actually needed to be met within ourselves or
hmm
just saying that hey this is when we really want to go live and then there's those impatient marks where we know that we're getting close to that deadline where we have to try and be patient in a way but we know
Yeah.
that we can't be patient.
Yeah.
How do you
Yeah.
handle stress level for yourself as a filmmaker, knowing that you have a lot of responsibilities that's on your back?
It's so tough. Managing stress is really difficult, man, especially in this business. And it's no joke and it'll wipe you out and everything. So surrounding yourself with a good team is super important. Real quick shout out to, I mean, there's so many people I can shout out, but
Please go right ahead.
Marnette
Yep.
Patterson. Yeah, Marnette Patterson is the lead in my last two films, lead female, and she's incredible. And she's somebody that anytime I'm having a stress, she I can vent to her about it, and she's there. She's there to help me as a friend, but also as a fellow professional, and she kind of knowing what I'm going through and all that because she grew up in the business. She started
Right.
as a child actress. She's done indie studios, everything in between. But
Right.
surrounding yourself with the good with the right people is important. But um, it's tough, man. It's really tough. Like people, I'm I'm a very expressive person, as you could see. So when I'm in a bad mood, you'll know it. When I'm in a great mood, you'll know it. And people can tell sometimes when I'm burnt out or stressed out or not having a good time. For me, being on set is the best time in the world. So
Yes.
if there's something that's stressing me out on set, or I'm
Oh, that's
going to set
huge.
and I'm not having a good time,
Yeah.
that's when I got to take a break. That's when I have to take a sabbatical. That's when I have to say, "Hey, I can't do it like this again," or
Right.
I'm just it's too much. So the juice isn't worth the squeeze. You get
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Because
Yes, sir.
speaking of which, I know that you mentioned Terry doing something about mental health. Mental
Yeah.
health is so damn important, and it's not worth it. I could do a million films, but if I'm not having a good time or I'm stressed out, all of it, I'm that's when I got to take a break. Seriously.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like that. And I got to give some big shout outs to the people that's actually tuning in right now. John T. for free says hello. He said, hello, gang. Hello, everyone. Thank you, John T. for free for tuning in. And he says, on your last quote here, he says, yeah, he's the same way. You know, gotta have that orange juice somewhere on the side, and just make sure you're ready. You're relaxing
Gotta
as
gotta
well
be
too.
ready for it. Right, right.
Beatrice
Yeah,
Davis is
you're
checking
right.
in as well too. Hello, Beatrice Davis. Thank you so much for checking in. My man Marquise Martin Hayes. And Marquise Martin Hayes is actually one of the owners of Fupa Water, who you saw the commercial. Thank you
Okay.
so much. Make sure you guys go out there and get that Fupa Water. That's going to help you as far as on your every day-to-day fitness and also just giving you that great energy. So thank you, Marquise. And a lot of you guys, thank you guys so much for actually tuning in to the Regno Suave show here with my guy, Michael Matteo Rossi. Yes.
Yeah.
Struggling, man. Struggling. When we talk about struggling, it all comes into, finances. It also comes into resources, right? Being able to have the right resources as well, too. And also, it comes to the environment as far as where you want to film, how you need to film, can you film in that area? And you have to learn about all of those type of different things. When it comes to you finding the resources for your movies, how do you go about finding the right people as far as actors and also people that's responsible behind the scenes as well?
So because I've been doing it so long, I've built up, and a lot of people know I work with a lot of the same actors, or maybe there's one film I do, and then a couple films later I'll work with the actors. So I have a good network, and social network or social media is very important too.
Yes, sir.
Obviously having that. But I've connected with a lot of good people that way. Being born and raised in LA, the majority of my films, if not all my films, have actually been shot in LA, Southern California, either LA or Orange County or something. And that's mostly because of the connections and the resources that I have. You hear about filming in other states or it can be cheaper, totally. And I've seen that work. But for
Yeah.
me, because I know so many people here, because I grew up here, I am able to kind of cultivate that more staying here. And like, for example, give another shout out, Fabian Montes Sanchez, great guy. He should be on here as well.
All right.
Fabian's awesome. He was my cinematographer and my editor on the film in post right now and my last film as well. And
Okay.
we got along so well that like he's my boy.
Yes, sir.
He's a jokester sometimes. He'll rib me a little, I'll rib him a little. But that's when you know that you're close.
Yeah.
But he's super talented. So I like once I have a good team set, I want to keep working with them.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, one thing the one thing that I love in regards to, connections, which is the bomb.
Yeah.
Connections are awesome
Yep.
because when we talk about networking, it's such a great thing. But the vision that people need to have as far as with you is so important when it comes to networking. And I know
Yeah.
you've probably been through this because you were made in Hollywood. You know what I mean? And I'm sure you've seen it where it comes to people that says, "Hey, yes, I want to work with you. Hey, I want to do these things with you." And it sounds good, and then the next thing you know, they're nowhere to be found. And I think
Yeah.
being able to have people to have that vision makes a big step as far as for yourself, but also you knowing the ins and outs, and just being there. It's a really good asset for yourself to be able to have, for yourself. The difference in
Yep.
regards to being able to film in Hollywood versus to be able to film outside of Hollywood in other states. How difficult is it between the two? Let's say, for example, if you've been to other states as well too, can you
Yeah.
name like a night and day of like, yeah, when you're doing it here, the rules are here, but when you go to this other state, the rules are totally different elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, again, because the majority of my films have all been shot in the LA area, LA or Orange County.
Okay.
And I mean, it's crazy. Like, but obviously I've been to a lot of different states and
Sure.
I've talked to people who have. I think that people are so used to film stuff getting filmed here, even though things are changing a little bit. California, unfortunately, is notorious for having so many rules, regulations, and otherwise with some stuff. So, you know, that can always be a little difficult. But thankfully, with the connections that I have where I filmed in SoCal, it's been chill. It's been chill. I mean, again, the cool thing is that you can cheat so many different places or locations in LA. You know, we got the beach, we got colder weather, we got all that. I mean, you know, there's so much of a variety of stuff, which is kind of cool. You know, and make it look different and all of that. But most of my films, though, do take place in LA as well. Chase took place in LA, so that's kind of cool. So I kind of have this urban LA underground type feel for a lot of my films, but it's like, hey, I'm here right now. Am I open to shooting in other places? Absolutely I am, but it's just, this is the way that it's crumbled, you know, this is the way that it's kind of rolled. So I'm okay with it.
Yeah, you were made for Hollywood. I think that's what we're talking about here. You know,
you maybe, hopefully, you know?
You are, man. You are made for Hollywood, and I think that's the great thing about you when it comes to you knowing the ins and out, right? Because I mean, it's a great thing to be able to know where you're at and understand the rules and the regulations and things like that. And the reason why I asked that question, because you know, I've learned by talking to other filmmakers that in certain areas within LA or in California, and then outside of California, there's those, you know, different types of tax credits, and there's other type of, you know, hey, you can have permits and all of that great stuff and things like that. So
no, there are, and it also depends on the level of budget that you're talking to that makes it worth it for the tax credits and all of that type of stuff. But no, I mean, that's why, I mean, California's got to get with the program with stuff like that. I mean, look, Hollywood, we're the film, and then other states are stepping up to the plate. Other states are, and you know, that's why a lot of stuff is getting filmed otherwise. And like, being somebody that is LA native, still has a lot of love for my state, I'm like, hey man, get with the freaking program over here. Let's still bring it back to kind of where it started, so to speak.
Right. I like that.
You know?
You know, we talk about, you know, certain crime movies and TV shows where there's killers, and there's people like yourselves and like me that has charisma. You know, and there's a movie that you came out with, or I have a trailer for it, called The Charisma Killers. And I'm so happy to be able to announce that you're allowing, and I'm privileged to be able to have this trailer on the actual show itself. So I'm ready to show it. Are you ready for me to show it, Michael?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Everybody, this is the trailer for The Charisma Killers. Let's go.
It was time to rally the troops. No, they aren't my real kids, of course, but I got attached to each one of them in my own way. They all share a very important bond that makes them that much closer. They kill people.
So what is it, old man?
I'm dying. I want to go out having some fun.
What kind of fun?
Val is about to be made a captain. I want everybody in his department dead.
Take out a room full of cops. You want this done in style, with charisma.
I can't make a will or trust. That's not me. Somewhere around 40 mil. Winner takes all. He who kills the most wins. Just that simple.
Game on, old man.
We just don't want to jeopardize anything, and we want to honor your last wish.
Nice try, because you're not keeping me down. You're not keeping us down!
There you go.
Hey, you got, hey, all I gotta say is I love it. I love it,
Thank
man.
you.
The reason why I love it, because, I love, independent films, right? I do love independent films, and I love to see independent actors or upcoming actors or actors that's been in the scene for quite some time that you don't know about to really get that exposure. But I love the title of this movie, The
The
Charisma Killers.
Charisma
Who has
Killers.
charisma when they kill it? You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly. And you know what? It's almost stylized in the fact that technically, and I knew this, the charisma killers is not grammatically correct. You would say the charismatic killers, but the charisma killers just sounds better. It just rolls off your tongue more. So I wanted to keep it that way and everything. So the killers have charisma, and I love it. Do a little plug right here, DVD of it.
wow, let's
So
go.
it's pretty awesome. I'm very happy with it. And I actually had one quick little anecdote. I had a really nice person hit me up on social media. A nice lady from North Carolina actually asked for me to autograph theirs. So I signed it in nice like gold ink
Let's
and
go.
mailed it off to her and all that. And then she loved it. So I love doing stuff like that. And who knows? Maybe in a few years or more, all that could be worth something. Don't know,
You know
but she
what?
still liked it.
It is going to be worth something. You know why? Because people are going to know more about it, and
Yeah.
because you're going to be even higher in the food chain of
Yeah.
filmmakers. And I think it's because of the efforts that you put in to be able to make your films. And I haven't seen all of them, but I have to say that just watching your charisma in regards to your passion in regards to films in general, I think definitely you're on your way, man. You're on your way, and I'm telling you, if you're not on your way right now, you should be there right now. So I have to say, congratulations, man. Congratulations on
Thank you,
that.
thank
For
you.
real,
No,
man.
and
For real.
that film got released in November, so a few months ago. It's on Amazon, VOD, all that,
Okay.
and you can get a physical copy. But that was a 25-day shoot, close to that, and I think from a technical perspective, it's one of my best films. It's one of my biggest films. I'm
Yeah.
really proud of it. I think it has a lot to offer and entertain a lot of different people. It's cool hearing back from people saying, "Oh, this person was my favorite killer. No, that person was." That's kind of cool because you got seven to choose from. Maybe you can hate them all. That's fine. But I do have people that are like, "I love this character," and that makes me look. You're not going to please everybody, which is fine.
Of
I have thick
course.
skin about that, but
Of course.
it's great hearing from people who enjoy it and say, "I love this scene" or "I love this character." That's great.
Let's go. Let's go, man.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go.
Thank you, man.
I
Thank
got
you. Thank
a couple more questions for you because you already
you.
know sometimes time is not on our side when you
Uh,
have this amount of
when you're
fame
having
like you
fun,
have,
when you're having fun. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So, of course, the films that you made, you as a
Yeah.
filmmaker, there's always people that you dream of working with, or
Yeah.
someone that you would like to actually have in your films,
Hmm.
or even just direct one, co-direct with one. Do
Yeah.
you have a specific person, or do you have a few people that you would love to work with to either be in a film or just be part of it?
I mean, there's so many. There's people that now. Are we talking living, dead, past, like right now, like in my life right
Um,
now, where they are?
I'll give you one living and one dead.
Ooh, I mean, dead like somebody like Marlon Brando, just because he's such an
Oh,
incredible actor, like
yeah.
so influential. I heard that he'd be a little bit difficult to work with, but from an actual actor perspective, he's
Mm,
he's so damn good. In terms of living, I mean, I could throw out so many people. DiCaprio, Daniel Day-Lewis,
yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal. All of them. One of my man crushes is Henry Cavill. guy who plays Superman, and he
Oh
seems like
yeah.
a cool guy. Yeah, one of the man crushes over there, and I'm cool with admitting it. It's all good.
That's okay. It's
Hey,
all
we
right.
all got them, whether people are comfortable enough to say it. But no,
That's man love
he's
right
also
there.
a
That's
really
all
good
good.
actor, and yeah, he's a good actor too. So no, there's so many, of course, like even like Meryl Streep, Kate Blanchett, like all of them. So it's great. De Niro, Pacino, of course,
Yes.
Jack Nicholson, if he wasn't. I think I have something here that is Jack Nicholson. Yep, right there, right there. No,
Nice.
okay, you get it. So
Yep.
Jack Nicholson, Dustin Hoffman, Gene Hackman, like all of those legends. I
Yeah.
think some of them are retired at this point, but they're incredible, man. So yeah, I could go on forever.
Yeah,
There's a
I know.
lot of
I know.
people
As
I'd
a
love to work
filmmaker,
with.
I'm sure.
There's a lot of people I can just rattle off. We got another 2 hours doing this because I'll do it. I'll rattle it off.
This will be another
But yeah,
episode with Michael Matteo Rossi.
yes, exactly. Just listing them all. But no, I mean there's so many great ones. Somebody who passed, I would have loved to work with Heath Ledger.
Mm,
He's incredible. So yeah, those are just a few. I don't want to go on too much. Those are just a few.
all good, my man. Hey, this is it. This is an hour of fame, baby. This is an hour of fame. That's what we do. You know,
Hey,
and the one thing that I really love about the different people that you picked and want to be in a film, if that would be an all-star team. If you were able to get 2 to 3 to be able to work with you on
that'd be
set,
incredible.
and then
That'd be incredible.
just crazy education and blowing up. You know what I mean? And I think that will definitely work. Being on, doing red carpets and things like that for myself, who I would love to interview?
Tell
Anthony
me.
Hopkins.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
He's another one that I should have rattled off. He's incredible,
he's
and
sick.
everybody always mentions, Silence of the Lambs, but he was
Yes.
in this movie Elephant Man. David Lynch, shout out to, unfortunately he just passed, but
Mm.
Elephant Man's an incredible film, a powerful film, and it's one of his best. So Anthony Hopkins is a genius, and
Man.
he's a
Sick.
beast of an actor, super smart too.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's
All right,
great.
my man. So here's what we got.
Yeah.
Because you're a great guy, you're a great guy, and I'm so
Thank,
happy that you came on to the show, and your energy as a filmmaker, it's
thank
just
you.
with the charisma. You're always chasing your dreams. I
I'm
got something
trying.
for you. I got a gift for you. Just you. Just for
Oh,
you.
thank you, man. I'd
Yes.
love that.
Yes,
That
sir.
is great.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I
Thank
got a
you.
shirt for you
Seriously.
because you are a gem of the
Thank you.
world. Gem of the world. Made in Hollywood, baby. And I have to say, because of not just by you being on the show and, of course, great friends as far as with Mr. Danny Arroyo, I think
Yes.
because of the movies that you have put together for yourself, from short films to feature
Mhm.
films, and also with attending film festivals, and also just being a part of the film community, and also
Yes.
to be able to get your golden signature for someone of your fan that wanted
Uh,
that to be able to say, hey man, congratulations on everything that you do. And I think that's basically what the world needs to see more of, as far as
mhm.
for you. So I want to welcome you to the show. Welcome to the
Thank
family,
you.
man. Welcome to the family. Let's go.
I love that. I will wear that proudly. I'm very, very thankful for that. I mean, and total respect to you, because look, you're doing it as well, man. You're
Thank you.
you're in the trenches like we are, and you're doing it. You're doing it. So I have a lot of respect, and Danny's a great guy, and Danny is so good about connecting people as well.
Yes.
Like I went to one of Danny's recent pilots for the Western that he did.
Yes.
And when I went there, I went with a friend of mine, and he was just so good about, hey Mike, I want you to meet this person, that person, everything. He also has an amazing comic book collection. That's another thing. He's
He
like really
does.
incredible.
Yes, he
But
does.
Danny's a really, really good dude. He's a really
Awesome,
good
man.
dude. Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
you know, it's time to go, man. It's time to go. I hate to say it.
We could have talked
I really don't want to
another.
let you go. You've
I
been a
know.
great
I
guest,
know.
man. A
Thank
great
you.
guest. But we got to
Thank
put
you,
up your
man.
social media, though. We got to put up your social media because people need to know who you are, how to find you. So let's put up that
Thank
first
you.
one.
Sure.
Yeah, this is an Instagram, everybody. Michael Matteo Rossi on Instagram. Make sure you follow him there, everybody. Make sure you follow him, like him, love him, do everything you can to support this gentleman there. And make sure, hey, if you want that golden signature as well, too, make sure you send him a message. DM him. Say, hey, can I get that golden signature, too? Let's get it. Let's get it. Here's the next one. Yeah, he got one. He got Facebook. Yep, same thing. Michael Matteo Rossi. Make sure you go ahead and add him on Facebook. Don't be spamming him. Make sure you go ahead and just say, hey, I saw you on the Rico No Suave show. Forget about it. I don't want to actually add you as a friend. Make sure you say the Rico No Suave show. Last but not least, you know, X, formerly known as Twitter. Make sure you go ahead to Michael Matteo Ro, R-O.
Yep.
Don't put the C on that. You know what I mean? So make sure you just do the R-O. That is correct. So make sure you go and stay updated as far as with him when he comes out with new films, will come out new trailers and things that you can be a part of as well too on X. Hey, Michael, I want to thank you for being on the show, my man. It was such a blessing to have you on the show today. Any last words you want to give out to the audience?
Well, first of all, I really appreciate, being on the show. This was a great time. And like I said, we could have done it for 4 more hours. And just to the audience, to other creatives, things can get tough, but stick with it. If it is your passion, just keep rolling with it. Surround yourself with good people and continue to create art and the stories you want to tell.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Michael Matteo Rossi, thank you so much for being on the show, my man. You take good care of yourself. We're going to always be friends. I'm going to always keep in contact with each other. And you're always part of the Rico No Suave show family, sir.
Thank you, man. Thank you. This was great. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Everybody, put your hands together for none other than my man, Michael Matteo Rossi. I'll see you later, my man. Take it easy.
All right. See ya. See ya.
Ciao. All right, everybody, we got to get out of here. It's your boy, Rico No Suave. Thank you guys so much for being here on the show with us today. We got to show you our social media before we get out of here, everyone. And, it's the website. It is the website, everybody. So we got to put our stuff up there, RicoNoSuaveShow.com. Yes, we are updating some great stuff, everyone. So make sure you go ahead and follow us there. Here's the next one. Oh, yeah. We got Instagram, too, at Rico No Suave Show. Make sure you go and follow us at Rico No Suave Show. Follow us and love us there. Here's the next one. It is Facebook. Yes, on Facebook, everybody, please go ahead and like and love and follow us there on our fan page. We updating it all the time. Great content. All right, here's the next one. Oh, yeah, subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just go right ahead. Just go ahead and do it. It's okay. Go right ahead. Here's the next one. Mixcloud. If you like the podcast, piece of everything, please go ahead and follow us on Mixcloud.com. And you'll get the audio only. While you're driving, you can listen to what me and Michael Matteo Rossi was talking about today. And last but not least, we have Red Coral Universe. Make sure you go to Red Coral Universe, everybody, and go ahead and, open that new account. It's free, and go ahead and, check out our past interviews as well, too, on the Rico No Suave show. But everybody, we got to get out of here. We want to thank you guys so much for being just great, great, great people. And we will go from there. All right, everybody. Until next time, we'll end off the show just like